Penn State's probably going to be back in the top 4. You have Georgia go down and Miami goes down. Interesting thing is, does that even really fucking matter? The top 4 has already been established. It's going to be the Power 4 conference champions. So we want to get that 5 seed because you're pretty much locked in like a Boise State or something like that, which would be good.
Still being top 10. Like you said, all hopes and dreams are still alive. That definitely helps. But definitely going out and handling business the way we did is going to bode well just for, like you said, everyone. We keep throwing haymakers on teams. It just feels good, man. Like, it just feels good to connect on a square punch, punching these other guys in the mouth.
I'm really impressed with just the overall product of college football. Yeah. It's fun to pay attention to. This playoffs making it a little more interesting, and want to continue to see the path that they're on. And I think that will put them in a good position to hopefully break the glass ceiling. If you do what you need to do up until that point, you put yourself in the best position you can be in. You're going to be in the best mental state of mind you've been in. December 20th, you got a chance to set a new standard.
Quarterback sneak right side, touchdown, Penn State!
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far?
This segment's brought to you by Family Clothesline. They kept us looking sharp all weekend. I'm currently wearing one of the Lulu Polos. It's a Family Clothesline exclusive. Make sure you guys check out Family Clothesline for all of your Penn State apparel needs.
And after hell of a weekend, Whiteout Energy, Whiteout Magic was back. It was great seeing that game, 8 p.m. kickoff. I'm not going to lie, was extremely tired. We had the State Media House from Thursday through Sunday morning. So, dude,
that's why you're tired.
Because I'm gassed. Yeah. There's definitely a lot. I know, there was some doubting of my dietary habits. No, I rallied actually way better. But there was some banter about my dietary habits. People don't have to worry about that. I'm still ready to play. I got maybe a half a game in me right now if needed, and that's all. Only a half a game because cardiovascular reasons, not physical. Right. So, but
it's up to you differently, man. These days,
I'm telling you, bro, it was a blast though, man. We did it last year, and this year we're still trying to figure out the magic. We obviously missed you. We know you got to top.
Trust me, I'm liking all the content. I'm like, oh, these boys. I know you got to get on the grill, get the cooking. That's part of my fat ass self. That's the part I missed the most,
bro. But that's the thing. So we kind of focus more on the corporate sponsors, like our sponsors of the network. So we had a bunch of stuff from Wise, a bunch of stuff from Hidden Still, Family Clothesline, Caroline, and them. They stoked it up well. So with that, appreciate them as always. Little plug there. Hidden Still kept us hydrated. Family Clothesline kept us clothed at all times. Ziebart, you're going to get a little bit of them today. Really didn't have a chance to integrate them into the house. More automobile focused than abodes or dwellings. Yeah. And Wise did a great job feeding us. So, yeah, dude, it was a blast. But yeah, we kind of shifted to more of that focus. So it was nice. Yeah. Like we didn't have to plan a social setting or anything like that. Right. Like we did. We knocked what we had to knock out. Had a great long day for game day just to capture stuff and whatnot. So really, really kicked ass from that standpoint. But
tailgate scene looked beautiful. From my point of view, you guys heavily indulge in that.
Oh, we heavily indulged. Got another thing coming for you guys. A little soft launch from Whiteout Tequila.
Blanco.
I got a Blanco sitting right here.
I saw that.
These Bad Mama Jammas. Little soft launch. Did a nice tailgate. Michael Motti, myself, the boys. Bringing this to market for the fans. So really good product. Got to do a little tasting and getting some stuff put together for y'all. So stay tuned with that. We'll keep that. We'll keep you all updated. But yeah, so that was mostly the tailgate scene for me, and then obviously had to go in and watch because I had to handle that pregame show. So kept it kept it under 100, 10-2 the whole time.
10-2.
You know what I mean? Pinned it on the speed limit and kept it between the lines. But it was good. And Jay was great. And then the post game show, the radio was. I mean, we didn't get on until damn near midnight. But yeah, man. With that being said, lived up to the hype. Had some Navy boys up who were partners in the tequila launch with us. First time they'd been to a whiteout, and it was a blast. Monty's pops was in town. There was a bunch of guys up. Cliff was up, so it was good. Good, just chatting with the boys, getting rallied again. So,
man, gotta love it always. I'm sure it's a reunion every weekend. I know you've been up there every week this year, but for me, past games, it's always love, man. Just seeing the guys throwing a few shots back, enjoying the football scene with a lot less pressure, as the guys strapped up have to deal with. So I know it was beautiful up there. It looked great. Penn State Whiteout 2024 against Washington. And the boys went out there and handled business too, man.
Bro, we welcome them boys to the Big Ten. Not gonna lie to you, Washington hadn't played well on the road, like we said. We talked about that last week, but I kind of expected a little bit more. It scared me a little bit on that first possession. Will was moving it. They looked good. They got us on a couple third downs, converted some things. Yeah. But pretty much after that, it was cruise control for the boys in blue. They were struggling a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I guess might as well just get into it now. Dude.
What was your overall take before we get into the weeds, being there, feeling the energy, feeling the atmosphere?
Bro, it was, for me, I said that whole mindset quote before the Ohio State game, and I thought this was just as much of an opportunity for that. Like it was a gut check opportunity. We talked about having to flush that feeling and, kind of calm the temperature of the room down in terms of the fan base and everything like that. So easiest way to do that is go out and handle business how you're supposed to. And I thought they did, man. Like they look crisp. Like I said, other than that first defensive possession or defensive series, our offense was able to capitalize on the missed field goal. Even, we took the opening kickoff back at halftime, got called back ultimately. But, I mean, seeing some more special team pop. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But we saw some more special teams pop and shit like that. So I just thought they looked like they were itching to get back out there and put a product on the field that everyone would be proud of. Not that they didn't against Ohio State. Like I said, I thought they played tough, man, and it came down to 4 points. But everything was just magnified.
Yeah.
The other thing I talked about too is like the schedule, right? Like usually we have 2 or 3 games that are similar to that, like Ohio State caliber. That's really our only game this year. We thought USC was going to be a little more than what they were, but like just the way the schedule played out, it was really their only opportunity till the playoffs. So now, you have to come out, set the standard, set the tone for the last 4 weeks, and that's a hell of a way to start it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that reminds me of when we beat Ohio State 2016, the following week, to your point of kind of putting a good product on the field. It goes both ways, whether you win the big game or you lose, because, I mean, we came out against Purdue a little sleepy out there in Indiana, and that, the first quarter and a half, 2 quarters wasn't necessarily the product we wanted. So, kudos to the guys, to the squad, coaches, everyone included, having that mindset, coming to business right out the gate, and, a lesser opponent, showing them what it was, showing them what, Big Ten, Penn State football is, whiteout energy, all that. Definitely take nothing away from that, because I think I said it a couple weeks ago, all these games are literally gold for each individual player and coach. You never know, which one's going to be your last. For the older guys, this is all you get, so take fully advantage no matter who's out there every Saturday, especially at whiteout, man. It's incredible. So, I like what I saw. I don't know, what do you want to get to? Offense first, defense?
Yeah, we can dive into the offense. The one thing I will say that kind of bummed me out, like the first possession, their first offensive possession, the stadium was very, very loud. It was awesome. But then we just didn't really give them that. We didn't even give the fans time to warm up before we were like, "Yeah, we got this." So you really didn't get the full stadium pulse, which would have been cool. But happy they at least got like 2 possessions in where they could.
It's like you said, if Washington was a little more, would have had a little more of a tight game, at least for a little bit, get some of those third downs rocking. I think they had a false start or something like that. They had the guys pumping them up, and I love that. So, next year.
They were into it. But, yeah, let's dive into the offense, man. I mean, I'll give you my takeaways. I kind of want to get your thoughts, too, just what you saw from your lens, and I can put some things that I think I need to see moving forward, because I think that's always good. We'll be a little bit retro reflective on the Ohio State game, and because again, that was really our only measuring stick on the national scale. So, but listen, I thought run game back on track, needed to get that back. I thought Ohio State did a good job, really making us earn it. We were able to get some explosives, little loaded there with that big 78-yarder at the end of the game, but overall, we're able to capture some edges, do some creative things, and give them a bunch of different presentations. Nick looked healthy. He looked good. He looked like he had a little bit, and he had a burst back. So that was awesome. Tempo back in the mix. I loved it. And that's one thing I do feel bad. I did not make that note after last week, how we did not – I can't – maybe we did. But I did watch the All 22 tape up at the State Media House of the Ohio State game, and we only ran 53 plays, so I don't think we had much tempo, if any at all. And I thought that looked great. We definitely once we got them on their heels, I think it's something that Drew feels really comfortable in, the offense feels really comfortable in, and we got some explosives because of it. So I really want to see that back in the mix, and like, I'm not gonna say die on that mountain, but don't be afraid to use it until you have to peel it back. And I think a lot of that with the Ohio State game was trying to not burn a quick 3 and out and get our defense back in the field and give more possession to Ohio State. I think we were really trying to control the time of possession, which we did up until that last drive there at the end of the game.
But like you said, there's a place for it.
But, yeah, there's a place for it. But I just think it gives our offense a little bit more less stagnant feel. I know we do a bunch of motions and shifts and stuff, but still just kind of like because of all that, you're so used to like every time you get on the ball, there's going to be some type of reset of strength or some type of crazy thing that comes into it. I think just sometimes getting up, getting on the ball where you need to be and going almost kind of puts the defense on their heels.
That's exactly my point.
Because sometimes we do shorter motions and that type of stuff, but a lot of it's just like, it's just a little bit of a different presentation, like the opposite way of what some teams use tempo for and stuff like that. But that was good to see it back in the mix, though. I think it really helped us. Pretty crisp all around. I thought Drew had a handful of throws. Trey Wallace getting back in the mix, doing some good things. Julian Fleming catching his first touchdown. That's great.
Love to see
getting him started a little bit. So, but Trey is the one that I really do want to highlight because I thought he did some good things. And Drew was throwing the ball with a little more anticipation. I think last week he was waiting for guys to be open. I think this week probably part of the stuff they talked about in that quarterback room was hey man, it's not always going to be clean 3-4 yard separation. You got to kind of throw with some anticipation and throw guys open, and I thought he did that, and he had some of that separation as well, so it made it a little bit easier. But that's always good to get those game reps under your belt with it. So those are kind of my takeaways on the positive side. And then I think the one thing that I do want to see a little bit more of, it's been bothering me all year, is just the true vertical pass game, like down the field, like shot taking, like the ball traveling more than 20 yards in the air type shit. I thought we did a good job with it at the beginning of the year. It's kind of faded, I think, or at least I feel that way. I could be wrong statistically, but I kind of feel that way. And I think we're going to need – one of my keys to the game during the pregame show for the Ohio State game was we're going to need one touchdown of 40-plus yards, just something explosive. I feel like that's something you need in those types of games, and be good to kind of get Amari Evans a chance sometimes, like give him a shot.
I mean, that was the guy that stretched the field, whether it was him actually getting the deep balls or at least taking the top off to open up another, secondary layer for Wallace and some of these other guys. That's the speed guy, top off the defense, which, to your point, I think he's lost a little production. I haven't seen him out there quite as much. Got a few plays this week, but that definitely is where that comes from for our offense.
Yeah. So I think that kind of sums up the offense from my side, right? They came out and got points and did some good things. Gave Tyler Warren the football inside the red zone, which is nice.
It's always a good thing.
But listen, I just kind of goes to the sentiment of the whole team, and the whole vibe for me was just being able to get back on track, get that bad taste out of their mouth. I think the offense did a really good job of that.
Yeah, and just piggybacking off some of those points you made. Definitely Wallace, man, that was big for him. Coming right back to a great game, getting that confidence. Obviously took a lot of lumps this past week. But he showed hey, I'm still the guy. I'm still going to be a guy down the stretch. We're going to need him to make those tough catches over the middle, one-on-one, back shoulder, all that. So that was a good showing for him. Like you said, get that bad taste out your mouth. For him and Drew, like you said, throwing with more anticipation, keeping his confidence in the guys on the outside, letting it rip over the middle. Those are things I love to see. They displayed that this week. And the run game, it's something I've been saying the last 2-3 years with Nicholas Singleton in particular, man. This kid is a downhill runner. I talked about it on the broadcast, Colt McCoy and the guys, that Franklin wants to do more of that. And that's exactly what we need. I think that helps our O-line as well. The lateral movement, similar to our defense, which is heavily relied on speed and athleticism. Going side to side against our guys is not a good idea. And I think kind of going straight down the teeth of the defense is kind of what will suit at least Nicholas Singleton. One cut, 2 cuts, downhill, get those feet churning, where, K-Tron can got to wiggle a little bit. You see him make a lot of cutbacks, maybe a little unconventional. He kind of fares better in that type of run game. But when it comes to Nick, man, I want that freight train, 4-3, whatever speed, getting going as soon as we can. And they displayed that. You saw it on the kickoff, which one day he's going to have to take, I don't know if you saw the Utah AD get on the post game and kind of rip the officials, man. I'm tired of this. I ain't gonna lie.
He called out the Big 12.
The whole
he went full fucking tinfoil, dude. He's like they need BYU undefeated to get a seed. Fucking they stole this shit from us. Just that dude could have literally pulled out the Reynolds wrap and fucking just got up on there. That was hilarious.
Man, and it's okay now against Washington. We won handily, but when these big games come, we're going to need some tight, equal officiating. I'll put it that way, because I it's not looking right now. And everyone gets caught up in that. But the boys handle business on offense. Psycho T, just give them the ball, man. Just give them the ball no matter where you're at in the field. Good things are bound to happen. This kid can do it all.
To that point, I said this to Jason on the postgame show. I was like, bro, the rest of the year, that kid needs to touch the football 15, maybe even upwards of 20 times a game. And then he's like, that's a lot. And I was like, bro, how many times did he touch it today? And we were kind of trying to backtrack it. And I literally think it was 15, 16 times, whether it was, receptions, running the football out of the quarterback position or shovels or something like that. He touched the ball. That's the fucking recipe for us.
Yeah, I thought of that this yesterday. A couple weeks ago, I said, as we were winning and handling in business, I still didn't quite know what our identity was. And for whatever reason, it dawned on me, that's our identity. Like I said, that's the recipe. Yeah. It's not necessarily just throwing him a bunch of deep balls, but it's, hey, this kid touches the ball 15, 16, 20 times a game, mixed in, sprinkled around, different looks, formations, as we're going to do. And for whatever reason, we kind of strayed away from that last week. Not sure what the game plan was, but that is what our identity is on offense. Get Drew going with the help of Psycho T, Wallace, the ground game. That's the recipe, like you said.
The one thing I will say too is I think, and I haven't heard anyone really talk about this, and if they have, then I'm sorry for not giving you kudos and paying that much attention, but the early preseason, really, it was right before the first game, injury to Andrew Rappelier. Really, he was a guy who I was really excited about, and just being able to be another threat from a similar position with Tyler is really interesting to see how this team in this season would have fared with two legitimate threats in that position. Luke Reynolds has done some good things, but he's young, man. I mean, he's a true freshman. And Khalil Dinkins getting a little bit, he was getting back healthy and into the swing of things. Like, would have just been really interesting to see two guys very, very similar in a lot of ways, a lot of heavy 12 personnel.
Yeah.
What the overall effect would have been. I think that's one of the biggest
ones. It's a different 12 personnel with T being able to do everything he can do. It's not just 12, okay. It's 12. We don't know what they're going to throw out of this, run out of this.
Yeah.
That's a great point, yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be one of the biggest what ifs of the season. Looking back at it, I hope that's talked about. But, so that was great. And then defensively, for me, I'll make it quick because I want to hear what you got. But, I thought the QB switch, I thought they adjusted really well to that. Two totally different guys adjusted really well. It was very seamless. I think, granted, the game kind of helped with that because they were pretty much one-dimensional at that point in time, and they took Jonah Coleman, who's a really good back, out of it. I thought the first series was a little slow. We jumped off sides on a fucking third down that was pretty stupid.
You gotta cut that shit out, man.
But pretty much after that, I thought Kobe King looked really good again. He popped to me, sideline to sideline. He was kind of always around the ball. He popped a little bit. Jay Reed, as usual. Abdul, great. It's interesting, though. I'm not knocking Abdul. Really good player. But just a point that I've seen, he misses a lot. He sells out, and he for all the great plays he made, he very easily could have made 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's one of those things where I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, man, when that kid really puts it all together and really settles in that type of role, he's going to be really dangerous. Because he missed. Dude, he lined up in fucking Timbuktu one time. I'm talking it wasn't a wide 9. It was he was damn near in the slot, and just the tackle didn't have a prayer.
Yeah, chance.
And then he sold out and missed with the arm swipe.
Yeah.
I think Kobe or
somebody cleaned it up.
Vaughn or Zane cleaned it up. Definitely made an impact on the play, but would have just been cool to see him make that play because it was goddamn. But
I think that may just be a testament. Obviously, he's new to the position. It's not even a full year. Coming out of that 4-point, he's an athletic kid, but I think that's just different. Even a 2-point sometimes can help. And like you said, just generating so much speed in a short distance and kind of having to learn how to control that, to bring down, slippery subjects. It's going to come. And like you said, it's scary business, man. But now he showed off this game, took advantage, of the starting tackle and the guy they brought in, the young kid. And it was just, like I said, too much. And he made the plays. I think so. After this game, he's leading the country in tackles for loss. And to your point, there's a few more on the field that he could add to that total. So, he balled out. Defense looked good, man. I'm sure looking at the tape, there's going to be things everybody wants to clean up. I still think, to your point about Abdul, there's still plays out there that, we can have 2 more tackles for loss if we rally a little better and get these guys to the ground. But besides that, man, and then man coverage, hey, I'd love to be strapped up and not allow anything every week, but guys gonna make their plays.
Washington had 2 really good receivers. The one receiver leading the Big Ten in touchdowns, and I think maybe even the nation in red zone touchdowns. So they good challenges. Yeah,
very good challenges. So I'm not gonna nitpick there. Played had some very good coverage. Even the pick Jay Reed had. Coverage was there. He sailed it with the pressure from Abdul, and then Jay Reed cleaning up as the top safety should.
Yep.
He's having a great season so far. We're gonna need him down the stretch. Similar to your Replier, I mean, we lost KJ early. You know, I hope he's getting healthy, but I wouldn't say, you know, we haven't necessarily missed a beat. You know, we had some young guys back there and definitely have slipped up, but Jay Reed being the senior captain he is, man, stepped up big, and we're gonna continue to need it, especially when you know, we get down the stretch of this whole thing. So, all in all, defense played great. I mean, didn't let up, forced a missed field goal. Just great game all around. Something they should be proud of, and to be able to build off of too. A lot of young guys got out there, got some tick, which is always good, man. Especially late in the season, it's kind of rare, you know. So that's great.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, with that, I mean, we got a plethora to pick from. What do you got? We're diving into now the Ziebart defensive play of the week. Brought to you by Ziebart. If you need anything with your automobile, cleaning, service, so forth and so on, Ziebart's got your back. Don't forget that. They are your vehicle's best defense, and that is why we are bringing you Penn State's best defensive play of the game from Washington. So, yes, B, what do you got for me?
Like you said, a lot to choose from, and like you said, Ziebart, everything to do with your car, keeping it right, keeping it clean, and this pass rush by Abdul Carter was just that. They have him at the top of the screen, coming off on this this right tackle, and this kid had no shot. Just gonna let it rip right quick. Clean rip, gets Rodgers down on the ground. I think got the ball out too. Nice angles there. And these tackles had no chances. There's Abdul again on the tackle for loss. We're going to go with the sack here. There he is. Zone coverage on the back end. Great coverage. Not enough time for the QB. That's going to be our Ziebart defensive play of the week. Washington Whiteout, Penn State. Abdul Carter. Keep him coming, baby. As we said, there's going to be a lot more plays for you to make. And this was just another one to the tally. I think he's coming along as a season in his new position, man, and great things are just going to continue to come. So I'm happy for him. The Sticks coming alive as they always are. Can't wait for it.
Proud brother of Stick City right there. I love that shit.
Sir.
It's awesome. Yeah, he it's been cool seeing it. Like it's been cool just kind of watching that whole development. But yeah, we're definitely gonna need him to continue to be an impact guy and keep building. So
he's gonna make those plays, as you said. You know, I'm sure he's, as the competitor he is, obviously getting the stats and adding the stats to the sacks. I'm sure he's harping on the ones he could have on his plate. So he's gonna make them. I have full confidence.
Good stuff, dude. Hell yeah. I am, dude. I'm so gassed.
Yeah.
Tired.
8:30. What? 8:30. 8 o'clock kickoff. What time did you see? Wrapped up post game. What time were you out of there?
Bro, well, I had to do the radio an hour after the end of the kick, so I didn't get on radio till, like I said, 12. I had 30-minute spot on that. I didn't get back to the house till like 1:15. Was still kind of riding that was a zombie, but I was, like that adrenaline pump, whatever you want to call it. I didn't get to bed till 2:30, 3. Had to get home relatively early because my wife she runs a lacrosse. She's the director of her own lacrosse program, so she's got 5 teams. So she had practice this afternoon, so then I had to jump into daddy duty. So
there we go.
But it was electric. I spent a great afternoon with my son. Did a little bike ride, did a little playing leaves. Caroline, my girl Caroline from Family Clothesline, actually gave him like this huge Nittany line. Like it was
nice.
The super fuzzy pillow or whatever thing. Bro, he wrestled with that by himself. Like I'm talking some fucking like Macho Man, Randy Savage, Wild Boy, Ric Flair shit with this thing for 45 minutes this afternoon. So it was hilarious. But so I guess with that though, like next steps. The next evolution of this. We talked a little bit about it at the beginning. We talked about, what we think the back half of the season means, what it needs to look like, what it needs to be. But I think it's vitally important to continue to hammer those points home. And I want to start with this because we did have some messiness, and I want to preface this by saying anything can happen. But let's just say everything stays clean in the Big Ten here. I think we got 2 weeks before the Indiana-Ohio State matchup, which will be awesome. Help out with some things potentially. Mm-hmm. But Penn State's probably going to be back in the top 4. You have Georgia go down and Miami goes down. Interesting thing is, does that even really fucking matter?
Right.
Because the top 4 has already been established. It's going to be the Power 4 conference champions. So there's 3 Big Ten teams right now in the top 4. We're going to be. So, it's funny how that works. But I guess we're bidding for probably that. We want to get that 5 seed because you pretty much lock in like a Boise State or something like that, which would be good. But, listen, that's one thing. And then I think we need to continue winning in the fashion in which we did. Right. Just build that confidence, build that crescendo, get it's that like immediate gratification culture we live in. People have a short memory. I'm sure, I haven't really, gone down any Twitter rabbit or X rabbit holes or anything like that in the Penn State world quite yet. Might do it here in a little bit, but I think people, the tone, the feel coming out of that stadium was like it was like last week didn't happen.
Right. I mean, shoot, man. Still being top 10. Like you said, all hopes and dreams are still alive. That definitely helps. And shoot, just moving forward, like I said, anything can happen. But definitely going out and handling business the way we did is going to bode well just for, like I said, everyone. And similar to what we talked about last week about the Ohio State game, like, hey, throwing jabs and then throwing haymakers. We keep throwing haymakers on teams. It just feels good, man. Like, it just feels good to connect on a square punch, punching these other guys in the mouth. And that, like you said, builds confidence. So when it gets to the, December, January games, we're in great condition to keep throwing those jabs and throwing those haymakers when we need it because we're going to. So let's keep throwing them now, no matter who the opponent is, what the score looks like. Let's keep fine-tuning that jab so we're ready for prime time.
Yeah, I think that was the most complete first half that we played. Yeah. And because of that, we really didn't need a second half. But that was probably the most complete first half that I'd seen all year out of this team.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will say, we always get everyone's best punch. So, got to stay on the gas. Best believe Maryland in particular, I can think in the back of my head, we have those guys down the stretch. They're going to bring everything. Not sure what their season is looking like right now. So, that's going to be just a team that hates you, willing to throw anything at you. Then we got Purdue coming up. Not going to sleep on them. Have had their struggles, but
they got spanked by Ohio State this week.
Yeah, let's come in and give it to them right back. Put them to bed. Put them to bed early, like you said. Get out fast. Get some young guys more reps, and get up out of Indiana. Get back home.
Yeah. We got Purdue away, Minnesota away, and then Maryland at home to finish.
Yeah, Minnesota's tough. That's gonna be a tough one.
Minnesota lost to Rutgers this weekend.
Yeah.
They did, but it was a Kirk Soraka Bowl. So
yeah.
A little bit more.
Everyone does it like the Michael Jordan. I took that personal. Everyone finds something personal with Penn State to try to thrive on and take us out. So, definitely be ready for that one too. And it's just 2 away games late in the season. It's a little cold, it's getting brisky finally. Just gotta be prepared.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to talk about a lot of these games because I can go on record right now saying I'm going to be saying that we just need to come in there and put belt to ass and get the hell out of there because that's what we should do. But maybe some stuff will come up. Like I said, there's a lot of football. So I've been thoroughly impressed, just top to bottom, with college football this year. All the craziness, but when you, like I said, I've said this before on this show with you, but been really impressed with just the overall product of college football. It's been fun to pay attention to. This playoffs making it a little more interesting, and excited for the boys. Like I said, I want to continue to see the path that they're on, and I think that will put them in a good position to hopefully break the glass ceiling. That's been with Coach and the program here for quite some time. I think if you do what you need to do up until that point, you put yourself in the best position you can be in. You're going to be in the best mental state of mind you've been in. Probably going to be as healthy as you've been all year, with a little bit of break at the end of the season. December 20th, you got a chance to set a new standard, which is what it's all about, right? I mean, some of those guys, like I watched our guy Devon host the Lions Den pod. For you listeners who aren't familiar, pregame, coming in after warm-ups, right before, national anthem, all that stuff, come back out. He was kind of taking it all in. You saw it. It was cool. It was cool to see. Like he appreciated it. Like last Whiteout, you see he was kind of just trying to soak it all up. So guys like that, they get a chance to leave their mark. Guys have been here for a long time. Still the last filters of those COVID bonus year guys. So,
yeah, man.
Good opportunity.
Great opportunity. And, we handle business these last few weeks. History will be made, which is awesome at Penn State. Like I said, for the guys I've been there, even the young guys, if they're, have the right mindset to take it in, playoff berth and things of that nature, it will be history. And then, as you said, really have an opportunity to break the glass ceiling. Don't just stop there. Keep going. Everything we want in this season is right there. We'll take the Franklin 1-0 mindset. Got to keep that. The rest of us will talk about it and think, on the future. But it's right there. Handle business. Belt to ass to these next few teams. Keep perfecting that jab, that haymaker. Keep that uppercut in the stash, ready to be thrown when you need it, and it's gonna be fun to watch, man. Shoot, like you said, it's gonna be great, especially back in Happy Valley. Who knows what type of atmosphere we'll have? So it's gonna be awesome.
Guarantee you one thing: it's gonna be cold as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, listen, quickie tonight. I think we end it there. I think we got to get another. Got to get another mailbag, open up a mailbag here at some point. That's on me. Probably should have done that after Ohio State. That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
But
that would have been a lot of the same questions or same thing.
A lot of the same. Yeah. But maybe someone would have got creative. I think we got to bring it back post Purdue. See a little pulse check on everyone. So we'll get that back and dive into it a little bit later. But yeah, I think we end this quick and sweet today. Little 30, 36, 37. 40-minute go. Get you guys on your commute to work at some point this week. Watching the game from home this week, as we don't have to be up in Happy Valley for the away trip. So good shit, nice. We definitely miss you at the State Media House. We'll get you up there next year.
Man.
We're good to go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And if I got one more thing to add, I'm looking forward to. I'm not sure, we haven't talked about it, but I know Brenneman's on his path. On the broadcast, calling games. I think I know you like where you're at right now, in the media space. But just as the talent evaluator that I am in all aspects of the game of football, I'm looking forward to Jason calling you out, bro. We've had these conversations, but Jason taking over, man, and working his way up through these slots. Watching that game on Peacock, I love the guys that do it. We had Colt McCoy up there, but thought we could have had a little more energy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a homer. And I just thought of Jason. I know he's going to be great at it. He's kind of endeavoring in this space. So, looking forward to him to kind of getting in the mix in that aspect. Be talent, man.
He'd be good. He'd be good at calling games.
Yeah,
he definitely has that the manufacturing station of juice in him.
Yeah, natural juice. But no, man, this was great. Another great dub. And appreciate everyone listening, tuning in. Once again, continue to show love. We'll get the mailbag out there. Like Hack said, check the post. But it's been great, man. Still a great season. And I have a lot to look forward to. Looking forward to hearing from you guys.
Hell yeah. Appreciate y'all. Catch you next week.
Yes, sir.